Welcome to Beer with Friends, where we drink beer with friends. I'm Aaron Moore, certified Cicerone, owner of Fresh Pitch Beverage Consulting. Also here,
Josh Hayward, certified Cicerone beer server, former home brewer, and I make beer videos with Beer with Brewpreneur. And
I'm Steph.
And Steph also does things related to beer. We're told.
Yeah.
Doesn't know anything about it, though, which makes for good TV.
there you go.
So thank you for joining us today, guys. We got 3 fantastic Imperial Stouts across the board. Barrel aged up all night. Yeah, had to double check that was a barrel aged version. Barrel aged up all night. Bridges of Oil from Newgrass Brewing and Mass Extinction from Twinleaf Brewing out of Asheville. So Steph, any experience with Imperial Stouts?
Not a lot, because I usually have to drive.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Speaking of Imperial Stout, Cicerone.
Oh,
What
yeah,
makes
that was
it
a way
an-
to serve that up.
What makes it an Imperial Stout?
So it's an Imperial Stout if somebody with an Imperial title is drinking it.
Oh. Bum-ba-da-da.
No, so an Imperial Stout is basically just a higher gravity stout. Anytime you see Imperial or double, just means more alcohol. When it comes to Imperial Stouts, they originally kind of got their start being sent to the court of Catherine the Great, Tsaress of Russia.
Fun history fact.
Yeah, fun history fact. She also had a chair designed to look like a bunch of penises. Look it up, it's true.
Sounds like my kind of lady.
Beer history.
Yeah.
Beer history. That was the part I got off track with.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, England was making stouts. They wanted to go ahead and send them to her court. The royal Russian court just fell in love with these really high alcohol stouts. They had to make them higher alcohol to make them a little easier to ship that long distance.
Plus Mother Russia.
And plus Mother Russia. Look, it's a vodka alternative. I don't even think they discovered distillation at that point. It's irrelevant
It's very
to the
cold
story.
there.
They need
Something
something
to warm
to
you
get
up.
them through the winters. Like, listen, Napoleon wasn't able to do it. They need something to allow them to live there. So they took off there, and before they knew it, those higher gravity stouts just started being referred to as Imperial Stouts due to that association with Imperial Russia.
Hey,
Nice.
Aaron.
Hey, Steph.
Why is it called high gravity? I've never known that.
Well, because the opposite
Why
of
isn't it
low
just
gravity.
called high alcohol?
High as opposed to low.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Always
The higher the
helpful.
percentage.
I hope you learned
alcohol.
something here today.
Why is it gravity?
So gravity is just
Because it makes you fall harder onto the ground when you drink a lot of it?
Hey,
Actually, let's roll
you can
with
make
that.
you can make the
That-
connection.
that's what it is. If you're ever tested on it,
That's-
put that down. I guarantee you'll get it wrong.
There you
It's
go.
not wrong.
So
Yeah,
we're going to
it's
go
not.
ahead and start off today with Bourbon Barrel Age Up All Night from Triple C Brewing right here in not so sunny Charlotte, North Carolina. As you can see, I have my trusty Narwhal cup. They have normal,
Juice
More
glasses.
regular
boring,
cups.
terrible glasses
Mhm.
that I happen to own. So this is actually an
Whoa.
Imperial Breakfast Porter.
Wow.
My
Oh, it
car needs a
is-
little of that, I think.
It might work. Given the amount of alcohol in here, it might at least get the combustion going.
Look at that.
That is beautiful.
I have a very sad
Chocolate
narwhal.
milk?
Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Maybe you picked the wrong glass.
I think I might have.
How could the narwhal be wrong?
Mm.
All right, what's it
The
smell
narwhal
like?
is never wrong. They're the unicorns of the
Oh,
sea.
it smells like
Oats
coffee.
and vanilla.
What's this one called
Oats,
again?
vanilla,
This
coffee.
is Up All Night. So that is their standard breakfast porter. So when you hear breakfast porter or breakfast stout, basically that usually means
Coffee.
they added coffee to it. Yeah.
It smells like breakfast. Like I would.
Great
like
way
have
to
this with
start
breakfast.
your day.
It does smell like it.
Great way to have a very short day after that.
There you
Great
go.
way to start your day. So this is aged in bourbon barrels. Typically when you're doing aging in any sort of barrel, you'll be picking up a little of that bourbon flavor. So a little of that sweetness, a little of that alcoholic heat. But overall, this one's pretty smooth by comparison to a lot of bourbon barrel aged beers out there.
This is smooth compared. This doesn't feel that smooth to me.
Oh, we're in for a ride.
Watch out.
So you're going to have big notes of chocolate. This particular one, that coffee is just around the front, but it's more like an earthy coffee than some of the fruitier coffees that you get.
It is a fruity coffee.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a little bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a little bitterness to it, almost like a dark chocolate.
Yep.
You know?
Yes.
I'm getting on. I think I'm getting a little like vanilla
He's right.
in there. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So this is one of my absolute favorites. This was actually one of the beers when I first came down to Charlotte that
I feel like I
helped me
need
just
cream and
fall in
sugar
love
in
with the
it.
city.
Almost. Right?
I've never seen anybody do that with like a breakfast stout. I kind of want to
But
see
why
someone
not?
just lean in
Just
and
to
they're
try
like,
it?
listen, if I'm going to do the coffee, I'm just going all the way with it.
All in.
Yeah, so
Shout
a little
out
bit
to
of cream,
Clemson.
a little bit of sugar, although
would
I
too.
prefer to take my Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stouts black. But there's no wrong way. If you're enjoying the beer, That's what's most important.
If I didn't have to report to work in the mornings, this would be a perfect breakfast every day. Every day. I'm getting nice earthy notes in here.
I mean, how productive
Nice-
are any of us really the first half
Nice
of the day?
coffee.
You're basically
espresso.
like making it up as you go along until lunch. You
I
know,
work
just
at
pretending
home.
to work.
Like,
Exactly.
Must be nice.
yeah, it's perfect.
Yes, it is. So, Steph, tell me a little about your thoughts on the beer. Really, kind of your first impressions. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
that coffee throws kind of another note to it.
Sure.
But there's a weird like fruity coffee, which I don't like. My
You getting a
brain
little
doesn't
sweetness in there?
understand. Yeah.
Getting
So
a little sweetness?
That's a lot of that's going to actually come from the alcohol.
It's
So
like-
alcohol does have a naturally fruity kind of character to it. At least ethanol does, which is the alcohol that we normally associate with alcoholic beverages.
Like this is a little more fruity than coffee to me.
Well, you don't typically have coffee that's going on.
Yeah, probably not.
10% alcohol.
Probably not.
10.
But I have had coffee stouts and things like that before
Mhm.
Yeah.
that are more
And
coffee.
this one is a little lighter
coffee
in
forward,
body than some
as
of the
they
other
say.
ones as well. So if you look at it, I mean, you swirl it around a little bit, my adorable little narwhal.
Mhm.
That sounds a lot more like a euphemism than that. Oh,
You heard it
swirl
here
my,
first.
Swirl my little narwhal around,
Uh-huh.
and no, it does. It's definitely a thick beer, but it's got a little less body than you see out of some of those big imperial stouts, especially for something just this big in alcohol. So that
Sure.
means some of those fruitier notes are going to come through a little stronger, and it's not going to quite coat the palate with some of those big chocolate roasted notes that you might get otherwise.
I'd almost say some of that alcohol, some of those notes cut back on some of that harsh roastiness in a way. Rounds it out in a way.
Yeah, it doesn't like the bitter coffee flavor in some things I don't like because I'm
Yeah.
real particular about burnt coffee.
Are you a coffee drinker normally? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love coffee.
You said that like somebody who cannot get through a morning without it. Like there was a mild desperation in how much you
No.
seem to love coffee.
It's not that I can't get through a morning. I don't feel like it wakes me up, but I do enjoy like
I gotta have
I'm not
Oh,
a real
yeah, I-
routine person, but that's like I enjoy
You-
that
you-
little morning routine.
You want to know what hell is? When you're used to drinking 4 and 5, 6, 8 cups a
Yep.
day, going to basic combat training and not being able to have no
you
coffee
would
the whole
drink
time.
6 or 8 cups a day?
I
Like
drink
it's
6
nothing.
or 8 cups a day.
I drink it all the way
What?
up until
Yeah.
about 1 a.m. 1 p.m.
I literally have a coffee mug that's about that
Yep.
big, and
Just
like
sipping.
I'll have about 3 of those in the morning.
Don't
And then
stop
you're
They
like,
until
thought it was
lunch.
a novelty cup until I
Here's my
drank out of
You don't,
it.
yeah, don't stop until lunch.
Also great for imperial stouts if you don't feel like ever moving again.
yeah.
Be a
I feel like
short
once
evening.
this goes like flat, is that the right? I mean, it sounds bad, but like the way that like when all the fuzz is gone, fizz is gone.
when all the fuzz is gone. Yes, when it's
When
hairless,
it's shaved,
it is
once
delicious.
this is shaved,
Once
I
you have
feel
a
like
Brazilian beer,
it looks exactly like black coffee,
it does, yeah. And if you take a look at it, the color,
It's
is
not
actually
like-
very, very
and
similar.
the consistency of it,
And
like,
it's not quite
like
as
thick
dark
like coffee.
as you're going to see out of some of the darker stouts, because coffee is definitely, even darker roasts tend to be a deep brown
Yes.
more than they are pitch black.
Right.
Mhm.
Whereas some of the really dark imperial stouts, they really do run, to the
Black
point
as
where,
night.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
as night, and like to the point like you could not see even around the edges anything. And if you get the edges on there,
You get
and
almost
I know
a
you probably
ruby,
can't see this at home, but
almost a ruby red on the sides.
like a
ruby
deep
red and brown.
garnet,
Yes.
assorted other red gemstones.
Yes.
There we go.
Rubies and garnets and nice
I don't,
reds.
I don't know about that. Maybe my juice glass isn't the right for checking this out.
Listen, I gave you
Listen.
the nice crystal. I don't want to hear it.
Thanks, okay.
You should see what the bad crystal looks like.
His
Yeah, actually.
Where'd you get that from?
IKEA.
I'm pretty sure that was a home
Literally
goods
IKEA. Yeah,
purchase,
oh,
okay.
like secondhand through a yard sale. Yeah, I probably wouldn't drink out of it. It's a good thing it's high alcohol.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm
Well,
a little
one beer
undecided
down.
on this. Like, there's something about it I like, but there's something about it I don't like.
The important thing is to have a state of mind and contextualize it. So
Okay.
when you're drinking that, imagine waffles, imagine bacon, and imagine an entire day filled with regrettable decisions.
Man.
And that is where your head
Sounds
needs to be.
amazing.
That's the title of this video. Waffles, bacon,
And
and a
regrettable
regrettable day of
decisions.
regrettable decisions.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, can you call your wife, ask her if she can whip us up some waffles?
This is how I get beat. You
right.
can call her, and somehow that's still how I get
Yeah.
beat.
That's great.
Love you, honey.
All right. Down the hatch, guys?
Pretty sure she's already left.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, I finished
We've been
mine
done,
already.
yeah. Okay.
That's good stuff.
So what are we doing
Weak
next
sauce.
here?
So next
Got-
up, another North Carolina brewery, and I do got to point out all three of these are North Carolina breweries, basically running from Charlotte all the way to Asheville. Newgrass is out of Shelby. Shelby's about halfway between the two. Little area mostly known for its barbecue.
Yeah.
And also for its one brewery. Now, Newgrass Brewery, and I'm going to irritate a lot of people saying this, for my money,
What else is new?
2019. Yeah, that's basically my modus operandi. But Newgrass Brewing, for me, best brewery in the entire state of North Carolina for 2019.
Wow.
And there's a lot of good competition, a lot of amazing breweries.
Really?
I have an enormous amount of respect, but these guys just did no wrong the entire year. Just turned out
You
killer
heard it
beer
here, folks.
after killer beer. Shout out to my boy Peyton Yates, who bought me this bottle for my birthday. Thank you, buddy.
Aw, and you're
Birthday
sharing
beer,
with us?
man.
I'm sharing
Sharing
it with you
friends.
guys.
Because what's better than a beer?
A beer with friends. We really should have said that at the
Yeah, we
start. I
did.
thought we
Did
agreed
say
on
that.
that.
This is okay. So this is called
Bridges of Woe.
I thought it said Bridges of Mo.
Bridges
I
of
really-
Mo.
I'm,
It's
Well-
far less evocative
Welcome to
name.
Mo's.
Oh my god.
I'm getting like a fantasy Witcher type theme.
Very
That's been
much.
kind of what they've been leaning
Yeah.
into
Very much,
with a
yeah.
lot of their stuff,
So this
particularly their bottled
Double
stuff.
fudge stout ale. Oh, double fudge stout ale brewed with cacao nibs and sea salt. I'm excited about the sea salt.
More sea salt.
I love sea salt.
Be a good
We should just have like a beer
And
with
it's
salt every single
9%.
episode. Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
You know,
Hey,
way to almost
don't-
go in
And
without
to-
us, Josh.
To Newgrass.
Yeah, to
Don't-
Newgrass, who won the Aaron has very little authority to hand these out award for being the best brewery in the state last
Oh,
year.
it smells super chocolatey.
It's very chocolatey, and the sea salt adds so
Chocolatey
much.
on the nose,
And it's
as they
definitely
say.
almost like a bittersweet chocolate, too. Like,
Mhm.
it tastes more to me almost like baker's chocolate.
Yes.
Where it's bitter, but it's not as bitter as like a European dark chocolate.
Right.
It's not aggressively bitter.
There is sweetness too, though,
Mhm.
because I don't really like super bitter.
Oh, that's so good.
It is good.
You know what it is, you guys? It's really smooth.
Smooth. Oh my god! Like, yeah,
We're gonna have a
to actually
graphic for
use
that.
this. Yeah, I was about to say we do need like something just popping over our heads of us all just going smooth. This beer is absolutely delicious. So it is very chocolatey, very rich and
Very
thick.
chocolate.
And
This
when
is
you
a
look at it,
dessert
too-
beer. We went straight
the
from
legs
breakfast
on
to
that.
dessert.
Oh yeah, which is a good way of describing it. We really did. We're starting our day and we're ending our day, and it's probably only been about 15 minutes, but we already need a nap. This is definitely just a thick beer, absolutely rich. I'm not sure any of us really even need more than about this amount.
Yes.
But this would be the perfect, like, digestive after dinner drink
Mhm.
way to finish your evening. Pour a
What
little of
if-
this over vanilla ice cream.
I was just gonna say, what if it was a float?
I'm
Watch out.
so in favor of that.
Watch
And
out.
cheers on that.
Oh
I
my
think
god,
that is the right
like that would
approach.
be holy.
We need like a float pairing show,
Mm.
like somewhere down the line. But
Yeah, I'll bring extra
Yeah.
insulin.
just a little. You have diabetes.
Yes.
The Betis.
I feel like a little of that sea salt, and it's not much, just enough to taste it.
Oh,
Really
I haven't
makes
even-
the
I forgot about the
whole
sea
thing
salt.
Pop. And it just pumps everything up. Just
Yep.
another little notch, which,
I don't taste it.
Really?
I wish I did. I like sea salt.
well, you didn't taste the banana last time. Just keep drinking.
It's true. Was that a euphemism? 'Cause that's inappropriate.
Well, this is our first X-rated episode. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, I'll film the next one without a shirt.
Don't worry.
To the point of the salt, I feel that the salt really
Josh is always
complements
breaking
the semi sweetness of the chocolate. Goes really well together. You know, you're getting a little bit of sweetness there, but then that saltiness kind of balances it out. I can't even say that. It's very good.
Which is how you know it's good.
Mhm.
Can you tell we've already started drinking Imperial Stouts?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, it's you can tell it's big. And how much
Can't
is
tell.
this actually?
9%.
9%. So you can tell it's big, but to me it tastes more like a chocolate bar that you went ahead and just, threw in a stock pot, melted down a little bit, just decided to go ahead and chug. So you want to mainline your dessert, this is the best, most efficient
Now
way
it's
to do
not
it.
like creamy, like coat your tongue.
It's
like
not super
chocolate.
cloying. Yeah, it's not super sweet. And actually, once you're done drinking, there's definitely some sweetness, but
Right.
disappears fairly
It's not
quick.
overly sweet.
Yeah.
And it's not like that.
Which I kind of
coating.
like
Yeah.
too, though.
I'm a big fan of that. I don't
There's a
like
little,
really sweet stuff. Like I like the subtle sweetness that
Mhm.
you can kind of enjoy. It's not just in your face.
Yeah.
And
It's a mature sweetness.
I want to say there's that fizz on my tongue again, which I know you don't think is I don't know what that
I
means.
was
gonna have to
pretty sure
figure
you
out what
said
that is.
fuzz
I did, but it was
earlier.
an accident. No,
This is
like
how we
the
figured out
fizz.
that she has a hop allergy. Unfortunate. But
Yeah, there's. me. We're gonna have our next episode
Now
filmed
filming live from the
at
hospital.
the urgent care. Same joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's good to
Anyway.
know that someone else has an equally bad sense
Mhm.
of humor. Well, so bottoms up, guys, on this one.
Yes. Very good.
Really, it is good. Like I keep trying to taste more things in it.
Yeah. The
I find
salt.
the best way to do that is just keep drinking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
You're
salt
getting
really-
caught up in
I
your
have,
fins.
I
In the
do. I
fin.
have just little bit of beer that just will not leave the fin of my narwhal.
Mr. Narwhal didn't want to let
Mr.
that go.
These are the glasses
It's the
that Mr.
greatest
Professional
glass.
gave us to taste with.
Hey, these are nothing but the highest in professional drinking glasses and 2 snifters. I would use this for my Cicerone exam. I would use this for fine whiskey.
All right,
I
all
would
right,
use
all right,
this
all right. What's
for
next?
mediocre orange juice and everything in between.
I love
It's
it.
the greatest glass
It's-
that's ever been invented.
It's your cup, man. It's
It
good
is my
stuff.
cup.
You know, I can't drink coffee out of a clear mug.
Really?
It seems wrong.
I'm just thankful to have it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll drink it out of my
Out of-
hands, just
Yeah.
cupped together.
Out
if
of an
needed.
old boot.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, boot. That is the most military thing you've said so far.
I'll drink it out of a new boot. I don't care. It'll come out of a boot.
Hey,
I'll drink it. Like-
Seriously, I've drank coffee, instant coffee, out of a plastic bag. I heated up water through an MRE ration heater, put the coffee in it, and drank it out of a bag.
This-
I was with you. I feel like you have a problem.
Mhm.
Well, when you haven't had coffee in 8-9 weeks, you
You
do
have
what
a
you
problem.
gotta
That's
do.
a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, good
And then
thing
you're
we have
talking to all your
alcohol to
buddies.
offset
Hey,
it.
can I have
Yeah.
your coffee?
Did you have any burnt toast with it?
No burnt toast.
It's a throwback to last
Yeah,
episode.
throwback.
You haven't seen it.
So
We're
next,
just keeping up that continuity. We have tons of inside
Mhm.
jokes. We're really funny guys.
next we have the Mass Extinction from Twinleaf Brewery out of Asheville.
Cool label.
Yeah, it's got looks like a Tyrannosaurus skull there. This was a 5-year anniversary brew, 12.7% ABV.
It's a
What?
big-
So this
in the
one-
world?
This one's
Guys,
coming in big.
Did I mention I have to drive home tonight?
Did I mention I got a guest room?
Oh
You're all
my
right.
God.
Imperial Stout
The concrete
aged in
floor is
bourbon
very
barrels.
comfortable.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels. So
Oh, how do we feel about the bourbon barrels, you guys?
Yeah, so bourbon barrels in general, I mean, if you've had a barrel-aged beer, chances are pretty good it's going to have been in a bourbon barrel at some point in
Okay.
time. They're definitely the most popular barrel
Mhm.
for barrel aging.
at least for dark beers.
Yeah, at least for dark beers. And I mean, in general, that's typically what you see barrel aging as a whole. I think they're great. They add a little bit of sweetness. They'll add a little bit of alcohol, but they're usually not going to make it hot. They usually don't have any of those higher order alcohols.
So it's not so hot.
Not so hot.
You know
Super
what I
fetch
love?
style.
Do you know what I love out of a bourbon barrel? Bourbon.
Ah, yes. I see what you did
There
there.
you go.
I do not.
I love bourbon.
I was
You're not a
born in
bourbon-
Kentucky and I do not do bourbon.
Really?
Ah.
Yeah, no. If
Freaking
I'm
love
gonna, I don't
bourbon.
drink hard liquor often, but if I am, it's probably gonna be Scotch or Irish whiskey. I'm just not a bourbon guy.
Oh, I love it.
It's too sweet, which is weird considering I just drink liquid chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, look at that.
Look at that.
It's
guys.
motor oil.
Yeah. So these guys are one of those breweries that for me, like a lot of their year-round stuff, I don't gravitate towards, and there's nothing wrong with it. They're just not one of the breweries I usually think of top of mind. But anything they do that's in like a big format bottle, any of their specialty stuff, just always fantastic. Any of their sours, any of their barrel-aged stuff, really, really good. And they're right
Who
on the
is it
South
again?
Slope, which is where
Twinleaf.
so many
Twinleaf.
breweries.
They're in Nashville.
Right in Asheville, right on the South
Ooh.
Slope, which is kind of the brewery district of Asheville. Not that Asheville
How
isn't
come I
one
didn't
big
get
brewery
any-
district.
I didn't get any fuzz on mine this time.
No fuzz. Just
No
give it-
fuzz, a lot of alcohol.
Give it a little swirl.
Lot of alcohol.
What do you get on the nose there? I'm getting fruit.
I'm definitely getting fruit. I'm
Like-
almost,
like
almost.
plum.
I was about to say. I was
Like
going to
a
say like a
plum
plum
or
or a
a-
nectarine,
yeah.
like some sort of stone fruit.
Grape.
Yeah.
Or I could even get a little bit of grape, almost like a
That's
Vinous kind of
wild.
quality.
I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that at all.
So real fruity. I think a lot of that's just the alcohol because it's even got a mild acetone kind of note, which is pretty typical when you get those.
Acetone.
Yeah, like nail polish remover,
Yes,
almost
there-
No, I know
medicinal
what
note.
that is.
That's a
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so
But I
that's
don't
pretty
smell that.
typical when you
I
get
do
those
need to get
higher
my
order
nails done, though.
alcohols. Yeah, oh, that's
Don't,
just
yeah.
you. You just removed your nail polish. So that would explain that.
Just pour the beer.
We also have not, clean
Oh.
glasses.
Cheers.
What in the world? This is so unusual. There's like, what
I'm
is
s-
the
yeah,
fruit?
I'm still
What's the
getting
fruit?
that.
It's
I'm
like,
still
is it
getting
grape?
Plum
dark
is
fruit note.
definitely.
It's plum.
It is definitely plum. That was a good call out. So, ton of plum.
Plum.
Yeah, that's almost an overpowering
Really?
flavor. You get a little bit of
I feel
chocolate.
like they should serve this in
I
the
want-
old folks' home.
I wasn't expecting
Get
that
the folks
in
moving.
this lineup at all. You know, something.
Yeah, they should give this. This is like, this is your morning prune juice. So we got breakfast for the young, breakfast for the old, and dessert for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 2 episodes in a row we've decided a beer was for the old folks home. I really feel like we're hitting a target demographic. Our average viewer is actually 80 years old, believe it or not. Constant cycle. We need new viewers every week.
I was not expecting that, but that's very tasty.
It is extremely alcoholic. And the amount on there you said was 12%.
That's what everybody says about you,
12.7.
Extremely alcoholic and fun, just like this beer.
Wow.
See how I pivoted?
Totally.
You drink it and you feel that burn, and as I talk, you feel that burn. That it's like sipping on bourbon, honestly.
But those
I don't
notes,
feel a burn.
Really?
I get just a touch of it. Mostly I'm breathing out that retronasal, but it's
I'm sorry, what?
retronasal.
So whenever you taste something,
You've never heard of that position.
You taste something and then you talk and breathe out, and then you kind of taste it again through your nose and mouth.
That's that retronasal.
Yes.
Oh.
Like
I
that?
promise it's a thing.
It
does
really
not
is a
sound like a
thing.
thing.
Like if you can't taste or smell a beer, drink it and then breathe out, and then you kind of have a little bit better chance of tasting it. It's weird.
What if
I know.
Nailed it.
I
It's
thought
weird.
like that meant it came out your nose. That would be retronasal. Which almost just happened to you.
Yeah, I'm watching you try to do retronasal breathing. Yes, it did.
Like my brain doesn't understand this beer. I'm not saying I don't like it.
That's wild.
I kind of like it, but
That is really
I feel
wild.
like that's 2 shows in a row that, Steph, you've had your brain broken by a beer.
yeah, I know.
I feel like we're
welcome to
making
Beer with
progress.
Friends.
I'm gonna need
Yeah.
a nap. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
good though. Anytime you can push your comfort
No, I
zone,
freaking
It
love
is.
it.
It's expanding those boundaries. It's getting you to try new things.
Well,
and
and you
even
know
if they're
what?
not
Like-
for you, the important thing is that you are trying them and really getting the chance to experience them and figure out that they're not for you.
yes,
Nothing worse than somebody who hates Brussels sprouts even though they've never had Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Try
there's
Brussels
nothing
sprouts.
worse.
They're delicious. Nothing
worse.
in the world.
They're only delicious if they're cooked properly, because otherwise,
Okay,
and-
Brussels
and-
sprouts are amazing.
and drenched in bacon fat.
well,
I love Brussels sprouts. You can both get out. This is my house. Guest room canceled, Steph.
oh boy.
Good luck, by the way, after that
Oh
beer.
boy, I'll be sleeping in the
Oh,
Fiat. So, why is it called mass extinction?
because that's what's going to happen if you drink a bunch of these.
Yeah,
Mass extinctions bury living species below multiple layers of substrate, leaving clues of Earth's rich. Oh my god!
Science
this is-
again.
this is
Yep,
serious.
they're really diving deep. So that's one of my
This
like
is
personal pet
serious,
peeves of
yeah.
like breweries is when they have like this like really highfalutin kind of like description where like they're weaving us tapestry.
they got
They're
the
telling a
they got the science
story.
guy back in the corner, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I can connect the
This
dots
was
between
Bill
what you
Nye.
brought."
Nice.
Stop
baby.
it! If we make another same joke, I'm gonna kill myself. Nutty.
That escalated so quickly.
Oh
Although
no,
it
I
probably-
high-fived you the first time.
yeah.
Nutty dark chocolate flavor layered over notes of toffee.
I'm
getting-
not getting
no
None of
toffee.
y'all
that.
said that.
No
Some
toffee at all.
No toffee, not
I'm
even
getting-
a ton of dark chocolate.
And
Dark-
vanilla.
dark fruit, big
Oh,
time.
vanilla, I'm not getting
Dark fruit, big time.
stone fruit and alcohol.
Plum,
I mean,
plum
stone
prune
fruit?
and alcohol.
yeah, so plum.
Oh,
Like
stone fruit. Okay, I got you.
no, literally fruits made of
With
rocks.
stones, yeah. What's
Yep.
the one that tastes like meat?
Oh, durian
No.
or jackfruit.
Jackfruit. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Really?
Never
Oh,
mind.
have you never had jackfruit? It doesn't taste like
I've
it. It has
got
a
to-
texture.
I've
very
got to
similar to me.
extend the palate.
Jackfruit's
man.
great. I got 2 cans of it upstairs.
Why is
Yeah,
that
we
in
went
cans?
pescatarian last year.
Why
Really?
is that canned?
You cook with
It's
that
just
stuff.
easier than getting the whole damn jackfruit because they're like this big.
Oh.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. You can substitute in for pulled pork,
Like,
and it's actually
now-
fairly
Guys,
convincing.
Now I want to
Not
try it
completely,
just to
fairly.
expand the palate.
Pescatarian food with
Never-
friends
Exactly.
next week.
That's our new show.
Yeah.
Pescatarian Food Network.
Because the beer is just
Yeah.
Well,
So-
2 viewers, it'll be me and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ernest
right.
won't watch it.
This is all very intense. Like they've got like,
Out of the-
diagrams.
out of the
on
three, I feel
skull.
like they kind of hit where they were going for, but this one,
It is.
this
It
one's
is
out there.
a lot more aggressive. It is a lot more a living T-Rex than that
Mhm.
Then-
skeleton that they got
Good
on
call.
there.
Good call.
It is assertive to say the least, and I've been sitting on this one for a little over a year.
so it typically these
Hey,
things mellow out, kind of round
Again,
out,
sharing
but
is
it's
caring.
Cheers.
yes,
You're a good friend.
that's still pretty robust and bold to be sitting for a year.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely not mellowed a ton.
Maybe it has.
No, I had this fresh
Oh,
as
you had
well, and it was extremely aggressive fresh. A little less of those fruity notes and a little more of that burn.
I can't understand this fruit. Like I did not
It is.
expect that at all.
Kind of crazy just how fruit forward and sweet.
I didn't know TRexes were that into prune juice.
Apparently, that's the only thing that they ate. The teeth were actually just kind of misleading.
Yeah.
If they're little short arms.
I got a big head and little arms. That's Meet the Robinsons reference for any of the 2 people who remember that movie.
He's about to lose it.
I think I just broke our producer. He's
Ernest
dying
knows
behind the camera.
You did the T-Rex with the little arms.
Oh man.
That's a great
Got
word.
him.
Oh, cheers to that, yeah.
Got him.
I think one of the funniest shirts I ever saw, it said, sad T-Rex can't do push-ups. It just showed a T-Rex laying down.
Yeah, can't do anything.
I died when I saw that.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes, Steph.
Hey, Aaron, why do Imperial Stout? This sounds like the beginning of a joke. Why do Imperial
really
Stouts
does. Cross the road?
have
Because they can't drive or they get pulled over.
wax? That's true. Why do they have wax on them? Like, why do they have such
pretentiousness?
extra? Why are they so extra?
Pretentiousness.
That's really it?
So there's 2 reasons. The reason
I mean,
that
it's pretty.
Well, the reason the brewery will give you is to be able to keep oxygen out. So the caps that go on the tops of bottles, they're called crown caps.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're pretty good at keeping oxygen out,
Still a little bit.
gets in there, and oxygen is the main thing that causes staling and aging in beer long term.
Okay.
So when you put wax over it, the oxygen's not able to get in. It allows them to keep better.
Mm-hmm. And it looks pretty, and people think, hey, I'm getting a pretty awesome bottle here.
Those are the real reasons.
Marketing 101.
The other big reason is to make sales reps really, really irritated when they're trying to open them for sampling purposes at Total Wine. The other reason is when you take one of these to a party or a bottle share, they really enjoy making sure that you're incredibly embarrassed trying to get the freaking cap off.
Hey, Ernest, did you record Aaron opening these? We can show it now. That'd be perfect.
Please don't. Wasn't my finest moment. I have a wine key
over to that
upstairs,
as
but I
he's
didn't
talking
bring
about
it.
it.
Ironically, the Bourbon Barrel one, it's like the Maker's Mark bottle, which is in wax, which is bourbon.
And is not as far off from the taste as you'd expect. Less bourbon than Maker's, but actually Maker's is even kind of a sweeter, fruitier bourbon.
It's very sweet, yeah.
And that's kind of in keeping with that one by comparison to the other 2. Now, this one, to be noted, is not aged in bourbon barrels, but by the same token,
and it's not in wax, right? That's like a foil?
No, that's still wax.
Is
so
it?
All 3 have wax. How much have you had to drink?
Yeah, it's a gray wax.
Yeah,
it's
like a coppery, grayish, copper kind of wax.
It looked like foil to me from over there. Wax.
Well, glad we were able to solve that mystery.
Yep. Got it.
But yeah, the real reason is mostly marketing. They look a little better, which means you can upcharge on them.
Yeah, they do look
stand
fancy.
out a little more on the shelf. From just an aesthetic standpoint, they look gorgeous.
Yes.
From somebody who has had to hand dip wax bottles before, oh my God,
They're a pain
such a pain to do.
Just
They're
do
such
it
a pain
right.
to open. And unless it's something you really intend to age long term, it's really not adding a ton of benefit. And honestly, even if you're aging them just 1, 2, 3 years, you want a little of that oxygen because that's also where some of those some of the character of that aging process comes.
I've got a lot of oxygen. That's why
you're
such
a fun character.
There you go. That's good.
Oh,
I saw a stand,
and the hits keep coming.
I saw like a display one time at a liquor store. I do like Maker's Mark. It's not like a high end bourbon. I get that. It's like kind of like I can get away with sipping it, but you can also mix it.
Yeah,
it's a good tweener. But they had like a.
I'm sure they're gonna put that in their marketing materials from now on.
Tweener.
It's a good tweener.
Good tweener.
They had like a reject pile for sale, and they were hilarious. They had like. It would be like wax here and like all the way down one side, but not on the other side at all.
We didn't
like,
have that
or a big
picturesque
glob
look.
of it.
If you're hand dipping them,
they had
that
a whole
is
big,
easy to do.
They had like all these rejects, and they were like on a discount. I was like, heck
because it
yeah,
doesn't
because it doesn't
aesthetically,
matter.
The bourbon's
like
fine, the glass is fine, the label's fine, but that wax goes a little
wax.
too
it
far
hurts
down.
us from a marketing and brand standpoint.
Yeah.
They
So
couldn't
now it's
sell
cheaper.
it, so I was like, I'm all in on this. Like,
I feel like that's like the TJ Maxx of like bourbons. You know, they're slightly off, but you know, no one's gonna notice.
Yeah,
There's one
Gabe's,
stitch missing. It's fine.
We
okay.
should do
Fine.
that. We should open a Gabriel Brothers of Imperial Stouts.
We're just crapping all over clothing companies right now.
Wow.
I love
That's right,
this story.
ladies and gentlemen. A
Every-
miswaxed Maker's Mark is the same thing as that blouse you bought from TJ Maxx.
Listen, everyone
Good
loves
parallel.
a bargain.
True story. I used to work for TJX companies
Yeah.
who owns TJ Maxx.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody
I love
loves
it.
a bargain. That's a fact.
Man.
So
the clothes look the same.
I have an empty
The
glass.
bourbon tastes the same.
You do.
I have an empty glass.
you
and
do
we
You
have
do have an
bottles.
empty glass, so I do not. I can fix that
I got a little bit left.
situation right
Well,
now,
but-
sir.
Empty.
So we've got a lot of beer left, though.
We do got a lot of beer left.
I'd have to say
What's
I'd,
your favorite?
I'd lean more towards one of these two here, just because.
That pruniness was
So-
weird.
So let's go ahead and just from the outset, like, I think this was probably all three of our least favorite.
Sure. Yes.
Steph
I don't know. I kind of liked it.
kind of liked it. All right,
Yeah.
so we got the Bourbon Trigger. We got
Okay.
somebody who doesn't mind a little bit of that sweeter bourbon.
There
Okay.
you go.
So Steph, kick us off.
It's important to stay regular.
Very well said.
Oh, Twinleaf, you just put Metamucil in a bottle.
There you go.
Oh, that's rough. I'm gonna get a phone call from those guys.
I don't know. Like, I might have to reconsider all this because it's all been such a.
That's a good.
I don't
point.
know. It's been a
Yeah,
journey.
let's
I need
try.
another.
Yeah, that one is really
Listen.
good. So
I
Steph,
don't think any of these are going to be my go-to beer.
okay, so you tend to lean more towards IPAs generally, and I'm hoping, having sat down and tried these, you have gained a little bit more just experience in trying some of these bigger, darker beers, and just a little more perspective on what they are able to look like, what they're supposed to look
Yeah.
like.
I mean,
So-
I have drunk.
No, that's
drinks?
what you are.
I've been done had drunk some of this kind of beer.
From now on,
before.
we shouldn't even start recording until we're like here in the
Yes.
bottle.
I've had stouts before. I do like them in general.
Them.
I like stouts.
Yeah.
They're so intense with a thing.
Sure.
Like that one was intense with something. What was it?
Coffee and
The
coffee and
chocolate.
chocolate are really the two big ones on this
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
That one is just all
Chocolate.
dark chocolate.
Yep. With a little bit of sea salt.
And that one tastes like drinking plum juice.
Plum
Yes.
juice, yeah.
So very, very different. All imperial stouts.
Yeah, and this one, hold on, I guess.
Well, it
I
also
gotta
shows some of the
remember.
versatility of the style, but by
Very
that
well
same
said.
token, you're right. Steph.
Different
They're all
approaches to it.
extremely intense, almost by their very nature. It's hard to really make an imperial stout that's not going to lean heavily in a
They are
direction.
like they're super intense. That's
Yeah.
the thing. They're also
I call
Probably
it,
not a poolside beer.
Yeah, I
Don't
call
get me wrong,
these.
that looks fantastic in a bikini, but I'm not probably going to be sipping on this while I'm, hanging out poolside.
I call these sippers. Something
Mhm.
you're sitting out at the house after a long day. Taking care of all your responsibilities. Something you want to enjoy. Just sip on.
or like
some-
ski trips sitting by the fire.
There
Yeah.
you go. Perfect.
Something for cold weather. And
Yes.
honestly, too, these are the perfect beers for enjoying with friends.
Yes.
Especially some
Good
of these that come in the
conversation.
bigger format bottles. These are the kind that you sit down,
Oh, that's a
share.
good point.
split between a group of people. Everybody has a little bit. You work on it together. They are higher alcohol, so everybody loosens up a little bit. You enjoy the experience together, and
It works
it's a
for
beer,
everyone.
It's a beer for a group.
Honestly, I don't hate any of them, and I don't know that I would seek any of them out either.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I think they're in order least to favorite. I think this one I would
Really?
prefer
Okay.
the most of them all, which is your guys' least favorite.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Who knows?
I
So,
would.
Josh, how about you? How you feeling?
I'm going for this one. That's my favorite. Is if I was gonna pick up one just to sip on after a long day, just to enjoy.
Or with breakfast.
Or
Well, that and the fact that we pretty
I
well
can't
established you'd kill somebody for coffee.
I can't stop thinking about waffles right now.
Waffles. I love this one. Love the coffee notes, espresso notes, a little bit of chocolate in there. I mean, it's a breakfast porter. Just hearty, full. Nice mouthfeel on it. Really enjoyed it. I do like the sea salt in that one, but if I had to choose between the three, I'd go with the triple C's.
And I'm gonna go for the last one, which I swear, guys, we didn't plan it this way. That
Hey,
New
they're
Grass
all in the seats we're in
Bridges.
too.
Yeah. Well, ours are
Oh.
switched. You jumped to that conclusion
Never
real
mind.
quick.
Never mind. Hey, cut that out.
So I think I'd go for the Bridges of Woe from New Grass.
Bridges of Mo.
Bridges of Mo from New Grass. I love the complexity of that dark chocolate.
Love
I thought the
that
sea salt made
bottle.
it pop just a little
It
bit.
is cool.
I thought it was the least aggressive of the three.
Yes.
And I thought that allowed some of those nuances to play out a little more. But fantastic beers. I do love a lot of what these guys do. But at the end of the day, whatever you enjoy drinking, as long as
That's right.
you enjoy drinking it, that's the most important thing. And if you're enjoying it with good company, that's the most important
Makes it
thing
even
at all.
better.
Hey, what's better than drinking beer?
Drinking beer
Beer
with
with
friends.
friends.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.